Everyone wants to be wealthy, but almost no one understands how wealth is actually stored, protected, and multiplied. It's not just about making money. It's about where that money goes and what it's allowed to do once it gets there. The rich don't just save, they vault. And unless you learn to do the same, you'll always be chasing, never securing. These vaults aren't literal safes filled with cash. They're frameworks, silent systems the wealthy use to trap value, grow it silently, and protect it from erosion. While most people keep money in a bank and call it being responsible, the wealthy are placing it in specific vehicles designed to produce freedom, not just safety. In this video, we'll unlock the 5 vaults the rich use, the ones no one ever taught you about. Each one plays a different role: defense, growth, multiplication, protection, and legacy. Once you understand how they work, you'll realize why wealth never feels secure until it's properly vaulted. So if you've been wondering why your income isn't becoming security, wait, this is your answer. Let's unlock the first vault. Wealth doesn't begin with saving, it begins with capturing cash flow. And this is where most people already fail. You can't vault what you never keep. The rich are obsessive about creating surplus, not just income, but income with margin. Money left after lifestyle, emotion, and impulse have tried to eat it. Vault 1 is simple. You need a controlled funnel where money comes in and only intentional value goes out. That means building systems to track, measure, and discipline your inflow. It's not about restriction. It's about redirection. You can't build freedom if every dollar escapes the moment it arrives. This vault teaches you to treat income like inventory, managed, protected, and accounted for. The goal isn't just more money. It's owned money, money you can command. And if you can't hold it, you can't grow it. Vault number 1 requires a mindset shift from make and spend to capture and deploy. The rich don't just budget, they forecast. They look at their income like a strategist looks at a battlefield. What's coming in, what's leaking out, and what territory needs to be defended. They automate savings, track categories, and eliminate emotional spending. But more importantly, they separate capital meant to survive from capital meant to grow. That's why their bank account is not a parking lot. It's a temporary checkpoint. The moment cash enters, it's filtered, tagged, and prepared for action. If your income is landing in a single account with no purpose, you're not vaulting. You're just hoping. This is also where control begins. Cash flow capture isn't about restriction. It's about command. If you can't command your current resources, more money won't solve anything. It will only amplify chaos. The first vault teaches you that money is energy, and unless you build a structure that channels it, it disperses. That's why the rich don't just look at how much they make. They obsess over how much they keep and control. Wealth doesn't come from income alone. It comes from structured surplus. Vault 1.1 doesn't make you rich. It makes you ready. And without it, all the other vaults leak before they even lock. Once cash flow is captured, the next vault is where true wealth begins: asset creation. The builder vault is where surplus is turned into engines, things that produce value without demanding constant input. The rich don't just save money, they deploy it. They build things: companies, content, products, real estate, systems. Each asset is a node that works while they sleep. Most people trade time for income. The wealthy trade capital for structure. And this vault is where that structure begins. If vault number 1 is the reservoir, vault number 2 is the blueprint. Every dollar sent here must return with friends. That's the rule. Otherwise, it's not an asset. It's a drain. The biggest mistake people make is thinking assets are only for the already rich. But builders start early, even if it's small. An online product, a rental room, a YouTube channel, a newsletter, these are entry-level vaults. The key is ownership. The moment you create something that doesn't need you to exist 24/7, you've moved from consumer to architect. This vault turns knowledge into capital, creativity into cash flow, time into systems. The goal isn't fast money, it's compounding, impact. And every asset you build becomes a clone of your effort, replicating results without repeating the labor. That's not passive income. That's structured independence. But to truly unlock this vault, you need to stop seeing money as a reward and start seeing it as a resource. Your goal isn't to stack cash, but to deploy soldiers. Each dollar is a worker. Left idle, it's wasted potential. In the builder vault, nothing sits. Everything is moving. It's either producing, protecting, or growing. This mindset is what separates wealthy builders from high-earning employees. One collects money, the other creates machines. If you want to escape the cycle of earning and spending, you need to create things that earn without you. The builder vault isn't about big wins. It's about repeated bets that stack, quietly, relentlessly, forever. Wealth that isn't protected is just a target. That's where the shield vault comes in, the system the rich use to legally separate themselves from their money. Most people hold all their assets personally. The wealthy, they hold nothing, but control everything. This vault includes trusts, holding companies, LLCs, tax entities, and insurance frameworks. It's not about evading rules, it's about playing within them better than anyone else. While average people think in terms of ownership, the wealthy think in control without exposure. The shield vault is designed to absorb blows, from lawsuits, market crashes, or life itself, without crumbling your financial foundation. To unlock this vault, you must stop thinking like a worker and start thinking like an institution. Institutions don't hold assets in their name. They create layers. When something goes wrong, it hits the structure, not the person. That's how the rich sleep at night while others panic. The shield vault also protects against the most silent threat, tax drag. Most people lose 20–40% of their earnings to taxes simply because their structure is wrong. The rich don't necessarily pay less, they pay differently. Through legal frameworks, timing strategies, and entity design, they shield their money from erosion. And in wealth building, what you keep matters more than what you make. But this vault isn't just about defense, it's about powerful positioning. Protection creates freedom. When you're not exposed, you can take smarter risks. You can scale without fear. You can pass down wealth without watching it vanish through probate, fees, or poor planning. The shield vault ensures that everything you build doesn't just survive, it transfers. Without it, your empire has no armor. With it, every dollar, you earn lives longer, travels further, and moves smarter. This is why wealth isn't just built, it's engineered. And like any great structure, without reinforcement, it's just waiting to collapse. The shield vault isn't optional. It's the difference between getting rich and staying rich. After protection comes expansion. The growth vault is where the wealthy stop using only their money and start multiplying it with other people's money, time, and systems. This is the vault of leverage. It's where $100 becomes $1,000. Not through luck, but through scaling tools. Business partnerships, real estate loans, investor capital, outsourced labor. These are not shortcuts. They're multipliers. Most people try to grow by working harder. The rich grow by building vehicles. They don't run faster. They upgrade engines. The growth vault isn't about effort. It's about amplification. Once your assets are protected, this vault shows you how to make them echo. But this kind of growth doesn't happen by accident. It requires clarity. What to scale, when, and with whom. The wealthy are not afraid to use debt. They just use productive debt. They're not afraid to hire. They just hire strategically. They don't avoid risk. They stack advantages. The growth vault is where efficiency meets ambition. It's about using every resource, not just yours, to unlock compound results. If you're still thinking, I'll grow when I have more, you've already lost. Growth happens when you learn to multiply what you have right now, even if that's time, skills, or connections. Leverage isn't greed, it's smart acceleration. And perhaps most importantly, the growth vault is the anti-burnout vault. Wealthy. People don't hustle to death. They design around themselves. They install systems that grow even when they rest. That's how they can disappear and return wealthier. That's how they invest energy once and get results again and again. It's not magic, it's mechanics. And the moment you realize your current effort has a ceiling, you'll stop pushing harder and start pulling smarter. The growth vault breaks the idea that success has to be exhausting. It shows you how to go from builder to architect, from labor to leverage. And that's where the real scaling begins. All the vaults we've unlocked so far are external: cash flow, assets, legal structure, leverage, and legacy. But none of them matter if you're still operating with a poor person's mindset. That's where the mind vault comes in. This is the vault most people ignore, yet it's the one that controls access to all the others. The mind vault is where the rich store their mental models, how they process risk, time, decisions, opportunity, and discipline. If you're stuck in the idea that money comes from hustle or luck, you'll never even reach the other vaults. Because every financial move starts with a thought, and most people's thoughts are broken. They think like consumers. The wealthy think like designers, strategists, owners. Inside the mind vault are simple but deadly frameworks. How can I multiply this? Instead of can I afford this? Or what system would replace me here? Instead of how long can I sustain this? These mental loops are what make wealth scalable. They don't just react, they simulate. They think in probabilities, second-order consequences, opportunity cost, asymmetric upside. Every vault you build externally is limited by how far your thinking can stretch. If you fear loss more than you value growth, you'll play small forever. If you seek certainty before action, you'll miss every real opportunity. The mind vault turns you from a participant in someone else's game into an architect of your own. And here's the secret. You can't buy this vault. You can only build it through exposure and intentional input. That's why the rich surround themselves with people who stretch them. They don't just consume, they curate. They don't just learn, they install frameworks. Your mindset is the container that determines how much wealth you can hold without self-sabotage. If you don't upgrade the internal vault, the external ones will always leak. The mind vault is where your perspective shifts from what can I get to what can I design. It's where scarcity dies and strategy begins. Build this last, but build it first internally. Because every vault starts in the mind, or never opens at all. True wealth isn't just measured in how much you accumulate, it's measured in what survives you. The final vault the rich use is the legacy vault, the one that ensures their wealth doesn't die when they do. Most people think about retirement. The rich think about continuity. This vault is made of living trusts, succession plans, educational funding vehicles, value-based gifting, and long-term compounding instruments that outlive the original owner. The goal isn't just to protect assets, it's to preserve momentum. This is how families stay wealthy across generations while others start from zero over and over again. The legacy vault turns wealth from a finish line into a foundation. But legacy isn't just about money, it's about values. The rich don't just pass down assets, they pass down understanding. They write letters to their heirs. They create family constitutions. They design systems that train the next generation how to think, build, protect, and grow. The legacy vault holds more than cash. It holds principles. Without it, wealth becomes a curse. With it, it becomes a launch pad. Most people never think this far ahead. But the wealthy start here, even when they're not wealthy yet. Because legacy isn't something you build at the end. It's something you embed in every vault before it. It's not the vault of death. It's the vault of continuity. And here's the irony. Legacy planning doesn't slow you down. It makes you sharper. It forces you to clarify your mission, to build smarter with more purpose, to stop chasing temporary wins and start engineering lasting systems. The legacy vault is what gives the rest of your strategy weight. It transforms your decisions from urgent to eternal. It answers the question, what will still matter when I'm gone? And when you live with that answer in mind, you stop wasting time. You stop chasing ego. You stop building sandcastles. The rich don't just build for today, they vault for tomorrow. And that's why they don't just win once, they win again and again.